Let's further discuss this now with Alex Vatanka, the founding director of the Iran program at the Middle East Institute. He joins me live from Washington, D.C. Thank you for being with us on the program. So what do you make of Trump's change in rhetoric, threatening the supreme leader of Iran, also saying that they have full control over the skies of the country? Does this give any indication on the next moves he may take?
Really difficult to say. As your correspondent just pointed out, we have now moved into the we, meaning United States and Israel. So it's not actually that far-fetched to expect that the United States might enter into this conflict. It would be against everything Trump has stood for politically. He's always been against so-called wars in the Middle East. And yet here he is very close to taking the United States into probably the largest conflict in the Middle East that the U.S. has ever experienced, because, you know, Iran is a country of 90 million people, 3 times the size of France. It's no small undertaking. So I think it might be that he's still trying to pressure Ayatollah Khamenei and the Iranian regime to sort of not necessarily do what he's saying in his social media tweets, unconditional surrender, but to come back to the diplomatic table. But this time around, give him much more so he can claim victory. And then in such a situation, he can hold Israel back. But again, I just don't know if that's enough for Bibi Netanyahu, because Netanyahu seems to be in the belief that this is the time to go for the kill, if you will, to take out the Islamic Republic once and for all. And whether he can convince Trump or not remains to be seen.
How much control does the United States have in reality over the current situation that's unfolding?
I mean, look, these are two, United States and Israel are close allies and partners going back decades. You know, Israel's a coalition partner, a member of Central Command. So there's a lot of ways that you can measure the closeness of the two countries. But again, being partners is one thing. For the United States to go into another war in the Middle East after the last quarter century of wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, politically, that's a difficult sell for Trump. We already see here in the United States that the so-called Trump movement is split. There are many, probably a majority, who think this is a wrong path for the United States. That doesn't mean they don't want to help Israel. But helping Israel defend itself by providing, say, interceptors to stop Iranian missiles from landing on Iranian cities is one thing. For the United States to enter the war on a mission to change the regime in Tehran, that's something entirely different, because you really can't do that from the sky. You need eventually to put boots on the ground. And again, people haven't forgotten what happened in Iraq.
You mentioned the diplomatic table. Where does this leave the nuclear negotiations at?
There is actually an opportunity to resume the diplomatic talks, and people forget we're only a few days away from Iran and U.S. where they were meant to meet and negotiate. That was just last Sunday. They were supposed to meet in Muscat. I think what we're hearing from the Iranian side, at least, is if Israel stop attacking them, they will stop. Will Israel stop? That remains to be seen, because again, I think the calculation seems to be by Prime Minister Netanyahu that this isn't about Iranian missiles. This is about the nature of the Islamic Republic. They find the nature of the Islamic Republic threatening from their perspective, and therefore he wants to, as I said, go all the way and bring the regime down. That's what he wants. That's on his wish list. That's nothing surprising. Netanyahu has been saying that for about 30 years. The big question is, can he convince Trump to go along with him? Because I think Trump, despite what he's been saying today in social media about killing Ali Khamenei and so on, he's probably very torn, very reluctant to do it, but he might end up just go there.
Okay, Alex Vatanka, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World.